Ryan Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630.
WMAL. 8:37 on WMAL. The president gives his big speech on Thursday, 2 days from now. David Chavern joins us. He is the COO of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So what do you expect the president to say Thursday night, and what do you hope he says on Thursday night?
Well, let me start first with what we hope he says. I think we'd love for him to acknowledge that the business are going to create the jobs needed for this economy, not the government, and we have to set the terms and conditions for businesses to grow and prosper and for them to hire. Some of the things we expect and would agree with him on are things like more infrastructure investment and our need to get some trade deals done. Some things which we would hope for, but I'm not sure we expect, are a big commitment to utilize our domestic energy resources and greatly expand drilling and exploration in a number of areas. So, fundamentally, there's some things we hope for. There's some things we're not likely to hear, but we do would look for him to make a statement saying that we got to get business going. We got to set the circumstances for them to grow and hire.
You're okay with the infrastructure bank. Explain to me why you think that more stimulus spending when it comes to infrastructure is good for the economy overall.
Well, we've been behind the eight ball in infrastructure investment for years, decades. So this is nothing new for the Chamber. We've been talking about more infrastructure investment for a long time because it is, in fact, an investment. It creates a long-term return for the economy. It's hard in this environment because it does involve spending, and as you might imagine, the Chamber isn't behind a whole lot of additional spending, but this is an area where we can spend, can put people to work, and can generate a long-term economic return for the economy.
Were we supposed to have that infrastructure spending in the original stimulus bill?
Yeah, it didn't get enough, and we certainly need more. I don't know where the shovel-ready projects are. What we need to do, and one of the things you'd mentioned, the infrastructure bank, what we need to do is focus on absolutely on making investments in infrastructure projects that make economic sense. Try to pull it out of the political process and the process of just ladling pork around the country.
But, David, it didn't really work last time. Why do we think that more stimulus spending is the answer?
Well, I didn't say more. A lot of that stimulus money just became transfers to state and local governments. A lot of that didn't work. We're talking specifically about let's deal with roads, bridges, telecommunications, the whole range of infrastructure challenges we have. Clearly, what's been proven historically is good infrastructure drives economic growth over the long term.
We've been talking a lot this morning about possible gridlock. Obviously, that looks like the forecast coming up. Is there anything on the Chamber's set of priorities, like the trade deals, that you feel like maybe could get through because both the president and Republicans are sort of tepidly for them?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, clearly what you're seeing from polling recently is that the American public doesn't have much patience right now for gridlock. They want leadership and they want answers. I think things like the trade deals, I think there is a deal to be had to get more infrastructure spending going. I think we would hope for deals on accessing more domestic energy resources and domestic energy development. And certainly what is going on with the super committee and what eventually happens with the tax code could have a huge impact on the competitiveness of the U.S. economy and the inclination of businesses to grow and invest.
No new net jobs added in August. I think the number was probably 17,000 added from the private sector, but it was pretty dismal. Why is that happening? What are your members saying and why they're not hiring right now? Well,
lots of uncertainty of all different kinds. Part of it is regulatory and government uncertainty. What is going to be coming out of this government in the next year? Are they going to do anything that helps me and my business? And frankly, and unfortunately, the just recent whatever you want, a train wreck of of a debate about debts and deficits didn't help people's confidence. But the super committee could help get us back on track in that regard. Secondly, there's just a lot of concern about consumer confidence. The fact that we've got this overhang of housing hanging over the economy and can't see our way to actually moving it through the system and getting it behind us, I think, is also dampening down demand. And frankly, there's a lot of overseas uncertainty right now.
Real quick, the Chamber has not always seen eye to eye with organized labor, and you had these comments, very sort of nasty and ugly comments by Jimmy Hoffa Jr., calling those who oppose union policies son of bitches. Any thoughts about that? Is that appropriate discourse?
I had not heard that. Listen, we don't make it personal here. I don't know if Mr. Hoffa wants to or not. At the end of the day, we obviously disagree with the Teamsters on a whole range of issues and a whole range of what it'll take to get the economy moving. At the end of the day, business is the answer and not the problem. And as soon as he acknowledges that business is the answer, not the problem, and we can engage in a productive discussion about how to get business going again, I think we'll make some progress.
All right, David. Good to have you on the show. We appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you.
David Chavern, COO of the U.S. Chamber. We'll take more of your phone calls on Jimmy Hoffa Jr.'s comments coming